My friends, shall we begin this little soiree of ours? Right here, right now, as they say, right here, right now. The last time we saw each other, a lot of you had a few adventures. Teddy had finally met up with Lee, whom she had abandoned so savagely 5 years ago, to go and find herself out in the wild. Well, no, she hadn't abandoned him, but she had left the poor sad boy even sadder than usual. But he reconnected. They had a little heart-to-heart, little moment. It was beautiful. And then Lee realized that someone named Birdsong was at his place, that Teddy had encountered him. So he rushed over there, only to be met by Teddy waiting for him. And when he approached Teddy and she embraced him, she turned out to actually be Vorena the Zimshi, who proceeded to, plant her bones inside of Lee's body. And we have no clue what's happened since then. That was at the very end of last game. Before that, Cassie made a new friend. A classmate of hers named Elliot, who needed to borrow a book that Cassie had taken from the library, and the two of them met and enjoyed a little coffee, a little friendship, and there was a little blossoming friendship there. Of course, if you watched the Sabbat, you know that that's gone off the rails already if you watched our Sabbat show, but Cassie doesn't know that yet. So Cassie's still thinking she's got a new friend. So there you go, Cassie, you have a friend. You also met soon after the Tremere Whip, a man named Loic Durand, who told you some secrets that only you know for now, but perhaps we will find out more about it at some later juncture. Meanwhile, the four of you, having been tasked with finding out why a Bali had been caught in town with a piece of wood from a piece of bark from a Judas tree with your names and a bunch of other names carved into it, Helena made some moves, called some people, found out that at a club that was connected to this Bali, there had been an incident where someone had broken in and dropped 12 headless snakes in the middle of the dance floor, and had written messages on the wall that were apparently meant to target Bahari, Helena's sire. Helena called Bahari. Bahari said she would take care of that, but she also said that some important piece that was missing for the temple that Helena is building had been delayed, and that the broker in New York was holding on to it and was probably angling for a better price or something. And so she asked Helena to head to New York ASAP to handle this situation and to bring with her someone that she could depend on to back her up. And while this was going on, thank you so much, everyone. There's so much action going on in the chat right now. I have no clue what's happening. I'm going to get caught up right now. No Time for Bull tossed a bunch of bits out there for once. Everyone has a second 9 move, graciously provided by No Time for Bull. What else happened? I saw a whole bunch of other things. Beth Matsko coming in hot with the gifted sub. Thank you so much, Twisted Fate, our good friend Northwolf, for the bit. We will put it on the side and add it to the pile. What else? Did I miss anything else? Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for getting the hype train going and for all the donos and everything. At that time, also, Vincent had procured some remnants of the Bali and was intending on summoning the Bali's soul to ask a question. He had been warned that this was dangerous practice and requested some help from the clan. And then a lot of you all got together, and that's where we ended the session last time. So we pick up basically right there tonight, immediately after all of that. And I have a little bit of an introduction, as I always do here. Little poem called Gathering by the River by Philip Appelman. Is it crossing over Jordan to a city of gold, archangels ceaselessly trumpeting over the heavenly choirs? Perpetual Vivaldi, jasper, and endless topaz and amethyst, the Sistine ceiling 7 days a week, the everlasting smirk of perfection? Or is it Styx, darkness made visible, worms that never die, and fire that never stops, endless murder too merciless to kill, slaughterhouse on an endless loop, the same old victims always coming back for more? Well, remember the silky muck of Wabash and Hawaii, or remember the skir and skim of blackbirds. Go out once more to the fields of Queen Anne's lace and bumblebees, and feel the crumble of dry loam, fingers and soil slowly becoming the same truth. There in the palm of the hand is our kinship with oak, our brotherhood with cattle. Imagine not eons of boredom or pain, but honest earth to earth, and when our bodies rise again, they will be wildflowers, then rabbits, then wolves singing a perfect love to the beautiful, meaningless moon. Somewhere in Liberty Arbor RV Park, New York, Samael is polishing off a mason jar of the good stuff, alone in his RV, Jacques Brel playing on the old disc player. He picks out a scab. He's talking to the ghosts of former friends. Are we dead? Are we not dead? I mean, I ask all you want. It's besides the point. We are. That's about all the news that's fit to print. Now, sure, you can yeet yourself on a divan like a character in an Oscar Wilde story, all wrist on the forehead, woe is me, what hath die wrath, O Lord, oh, this crepuscular existence, tied neither to heaven or hell. How must I suffer so, Jesus fucking Christ, shut up already. Look, speaking of old JC, he came fucking back, right? They nailed him up there like they were putting up a bad print of some famous painting they picked up at a garage sale. They put a sharp piece of wood in his side. And that remind you of anything? Sure it does. And then they buried him. They buried him. Those Roman fucks must have been Sabbat. Anyway. Barely time for Pontius Pilate to wash his hands a second time that old JC pops back up, throws off the shroud of Turin like a whore from the Bois de Boulogne throws off her slip, and hangs out there in all his son of God glory. Ta-da, I'm back, bitches. And no one is asking, was he dead? Was he alive? Nah, he just was. Walked right through that maze, never making a mistake, came right back out. And why should we be any different? Did you know there's a river Styx in Ohio? It's not even a river. There are no more rules, man. Vincent, your phone rings.
Yeah.
Vincenzo, the river Styx moves sluggishly tonight. There's no peace to be found anywhere in the underworld. What you do is dangerous. Are you certain you want to go through with it? You recognize the voice of Luca Giovanni, second only to Attias Giovanni in the clan in Chicago.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm all ears, Luca. The prince wants answers, and I'm under strict orders to cooperate in every and any way possible. So, this seems like the best way to go about it, right?
The spirits are restless. But
when aren't they?
If you're willing to risk it, why not? I've nothing better to do. I'm old, and there's nothing else on my calendar. Come down to St. Mary's. Bring anyone connected to this. You will need their help. The phone goes dead.
This is why I talk to Elisabetta more so than you, Luca. Right, so, who's up for a field trip? I mean, don't everybody fucking talk at once.
Like, to the zoo?
Sorta!
Spit it out.
We're gonna go to St. Mary's, I mean...
So not to the zoo.
It might involve people watching. That's kind of like the zoo.
What's in St. Mary's?
Well, we're gonna take this little vial right here. We're gonna go see my buddy Luca, who's gonna watch over me while I pull this sorry sap's fucking soul from beyond the shroud, and we're gonna ask him a lot of questions.
That doesn't sound like the zoo at all.
Oh, there will be sights to see.
More like a museum.
Sure.
I like the museum. Like an art museum?
Yeah. No, honey, it's not like an art museum at all, actually. No.
I mean, I guess if we have to, like, talk to a dead person, yeah, sure. Field trip, yay.
It won't be bad. Luca will be there. You guys just kind of get to observe the spooky stuff.
Spooky.
Spooky.
I think Helena's looking at Teddy at this moment like,
You see a touch of concern in Teddy's eyes as she glances back to you.
well, if Cassie's going, I guess we ought to go.
I mean, I'm offering you the invitation to see some of the things that we can do. If you wish to decline, by all means, decline. But it would behoove you to come along. First-hand knowledge versus me having to earn your trust even farther, so no matter what I say, you'll be like, well, is that really what he said? Well, you could have been there and heard it for your fucking self. You know, just kind of cutting out the middleman.
Yeah, I'll go. Teddy?
Yeah, I'm going.
All right.
Well, all right then. Let's go.
Field trip.
Field trip. Cassie gets shotgun, and she controls the radio. So, fuck you too. Anyway.
Wants our trust.
I'll take requests.
Mhm.
This is to go fuck ourselves. That math ain't mathin'. Whatever.
It will one day.
Certainly.
So to the sweet sounds of Miley Cyrus.
Some party in the USA. Hell yeah, brother.
You head out to St. Mary's Catholic Cemetery, a little west of the downtown area. You eventually, when you arrive at the place, it is night, so it is basically closed. But as you pull up to the gate, someone, well-dressed man in a suit, comes out without asking questions, unlocks the gate. You roll on through, Vincent, and you make your way to one of the main mausoleums at the center. Hey, thank you, Anonymous, for a whole bunch of subs. That I saw them coming in earlier also, and another bunch now. Thanks so much for the subs and for level 3 hype train. So you pull in, you arrive at this sort of central mausoleum that's not really it's like got it's kind of open aired, just like 4 pillars with like kind of a Roman roof, and there are basically little walls with little lights that are kind of burning alongside it and plaques. The car pulls up to it. As you step out of the car, another man, again sort of dressed in a very nice funeral kind of suit, appears at the top of the stairs and goes, Mr. Giovanni, if you will follow me, please.
Ladies.
You walk into the crypt, and there's kind of an interesting feeling to being here because, of course, there's always the question whether or not you're dead. Are you alive? Are you undead? You don't really know exactly what the situation is, but visiting this place where the dead truly are, some of you may not be able to help but feel maybe a little either disturbed or perhaps grateful that you're not among them, because the trauma, the violence of your embrace really could have left you dead and should have left you dead in many cases, but here you are walking around, taking in the sights. You step into the mausoleum and you see across the polished marble floor a set of double doors that are open at the other end. There appears to be some sort of, not funeral, but some sort of viewing in place. You can clearly see a number of people sitting down. There is a casket, or there should be a casket, kind of a dais where a casket would be, but there is a woman dressed in a wedding gown lying down on this. You hear soft moaning and crying. There's a violin playing in the room. Cassie, you notice on a bench just outside the doors to this place, there are 2 kids, a boy and a girl. The girl dressed almost kind of like in a wedding dress also, the boy in the kind of suit. You get a bit of a flashback. You've seen something like this before when you went to see Nicola at the theater that night at the Teatro Grotesco. You saw these two kids very similar to them sitting there as you entered the theater. They're here right now again, sitting by the door to this place. Someone inside of there wails loudly. There's the sound of something breaking, and you can hear whispers. And then you hear the of someone walking on marbled floor, and Luca Giovanni, an older gentleman dressed in a tweed suit with little horn-rimmed glasses, comes out of that room, closes the door, shuts off the situation, sees the two kids, goes, opens the door, motions the kids in. The two kids get up, and the girl looks at you. She's holding a little bouquet of flowers. The two of them go into the room. He closes the door. Then he walks back towards you. Vincenzo, who are your friends?
This is Helena. This is Teddy. And this is Cassie. They were charged with the same task as I was, to investigate. So they are in turn tied to the blood as I am.
Well, unfortunate for them. Miss Cassie, I've heard much about you. It is a pleasure to finally meet you. My name is Luca Giovanni, and he comes over and he takes your hand, or at least he extends his hand to take yours.
Cassiel. Hello. Nice to meet you.
The pleasure is all mine. The two of you, looking at Teddy and Helena, I've not really heard of either of you, but you seem like fine, upstanding citizens. I am glad to meet you. Please follow me. He leads you down the marbled halls of this mausoleum. The haunting violin melody that was playing in that room that you saw there kind of follows you down the hall and fades away very slowly, leaving only eventually the sound of your feet on the marbled floor. You get to a big door. He pulls a set of keys, old keys, the kind with like a big metal ring and that are really long and look kind of rusted, from his pocket. He turns into the lock, opens the door. It opens with a big... You don't have to worry. Everyone in here is dead. Please, follow me. And he starts going down a set of stairs. There's a circular set of stairs that goes down deeper into the crypt. As you walk down, he lights little torches along the way. He's like, of course, this is a big secret of the family here. We'll probably have to kill you after, but don't worry, we can bring you back. And he leads you down this hall. How is everybody doing tonight? You all feeling good, yes?
Pretty dandy.
You all have such long faces.
That's just my bone structure.
Oh, well, it is a very good bone structure. You have a very classical look about you. The old painters, they would have loved you. They perhaps need a little bit more roundness in some places, but nothing we can fix. A little bit of pasta, you eat a little bit of starch, and you'd be perfect. You'd be like the Venus de Milo.
Luca.
Si, Vincenzo, ¿qué pasa?
We're in a bit of a hurry, that's all.
Hey, you kids today, everything has to happen really quickly all at once, you know? You got to take the time to enjoy the beautiful evening. You got to take the time to enjoy the presence of such beautiful women with you, Vincenzo. You are always in such a hurry. No wonder the women, they don't want to hang out with you too long. You're in too much a hurry. You've got to take your time a little bit, you know?
I've got another engagement in like 2 hours.
Always so busy, Vincenzo, with the engagements and the meetings and the this and the that and the calendars and the cell phones and the what have yous. You've got to learn to appreciate.
It's with the it's with the primogen. Why would you say that? It's with the boss. Why would you say that? Why it's not
boss, because the boss is like you. He doesn't know how to enjoy the evening either. He's always thinking business. He's gonna turn into a Ventru someday.
I think
like that's the
guy.
goal. No, you don't.
I think I like him as well. He thinks we're upstanding citizens.
He Things were beautiful.
He's a necromancer posing as a funeral director. It's clever.
It's cute.
Oh, I'm not a funeral director. Arya is the one who handles all that side of the business. I myself prefer the quiet contemplation available in libraries. I'm a librarian by trade.
Oh.
I
like
only
libraries.
come here to help Vincenzo.
Interesting.
He knows a lot of stuff. And
He works in a library.
Well, yes,
Yes.
that's true.
With books.
Well, that's usually what would be in a library.
Oh, are you a student perhaps?
Mhm.
Oh, very. What are you studying?
Psychology. I'm going for my doctorate.
Oh, that's good. A lot of people are crazy today. The more psychologists we have to try and fix them, the better. But I do believe you have your work cut out for you because the people out there now, whoo!
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Huh, you're crazy.
Mhm.
Oh, well then that gives you first-hand knowledge of the subject. That's very good. I always say, if you want to be good at something, you've got to be that something. Like how
First-hand
are you going to...
experience, you know?
I'm sorry, say that again?
First-hand experience.
Yes, exactly. How are you going to be a good chef if you don't eat the food? That's what I say.
Do you guys have cannolis down here?
Not down here, but if you want some, I'll get you some after.
Okay.
I know this great little pastry shop. I'll hook you up.
I'm gonna look back at Vincent.
Vincent,
I like him.
Yeah, Vincent is just.
Are you okay, Vincenzo?
Yeah, we sure are, Luca. Let's go.
We're almost there. You're about to summon the soul of someone who worshipped the devil. I mean, I wouldn't be in so much a hurry if I was you, you know?
Well, time is money, friend.
Yeah. I don't know. Time is time, you know? The rest, well, the secondary. But
Is
I know
this-
what you mean.
Dangerous?
Oh, it's very dangerous.
Oh yeah, very much so. Where
I mean, not if you do what you're supposed to do.
true.
If you follow the rules. See, that is the thing. Tradition
the
is
rules.
important. There are rules. You have tradition, right? Things are done a certain way. And when you follow tradition, then things work the way they should. It's when you start messing around with tradition, maybe you're changing things a little bit. You got a recipe. You don't want to start adding a little extra pinch of salt here, a little extra pinch of this, that. Next thing you know, you're making something completely different. You've got to follow the recipe, you know?
Luca has a penchant for cooking, if you haven't been able to notice.
I've been watching this guy on, what do you call them? The YouTubes. He's an actor or something, but he cooks now. Like, I guess maybe he didn't have work during the pandemic, and now he cooks. Tucci, Stanley Tucci, he's fantastic. He makes the very, very classic approach to cooking. It's beautiful. I wish I was still alive just to eat his cooking. It'd be fantastic. In fact, I'm thinking maybe I'll go and embrace him. No, I wouldn't do that. It'd be a breach of the Masquerade. It'd be terrible. We're here. Thank you, Ian, for the night moves and additional height moves to everyone from Ian. Your boy Big. Thank you, Ian. I saw your one come in earlier, Ian. You walk into this large circular room. Basically, you've been walking down this corridor, and it leads to just this room. There's a large circular room that is completely empty except for some lamps. We do it here. It's safer here. That way, if we fuck up and all die, then the spirit doesn't go anywhere else. It just stays here forever, and then,
Until the next poor fucker finds a room.
Well, I'm pretty sure someone will come and clean it, but... So no worries. They're not going to go after your families and your friends if you still have those.
All my friends are here.
Well, that's good. It's good to spend some time with friends. Hanging out in a little crypt, summoning some devil-worshipping spirits. I mean, those are the bonding experiences that you remember later. No one's going to remember the watch that you got for Christmas, but this, you will remember this.
It's just a Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
For some people.
I have no idea.
All right, we're going to do this thing. I assume you have, do you know the name of this poor unfortunate soul? Do you have something of theirs? Talk to me, Vincenzo.
Vincent pulls out the box and he opens it up, and he has a few items that were provided, and then he holds up the vial of blood. I think that we should be able to get pretty fucking far with this.
It's very good. That's very good. Now, my friends, we will need your help with this. And I'm certain that some of you don't care very much for Vincenzo. So you may be tempted during this thing to not follow tradition and allow Vincenzo to, well, as we say, properly get fucked. However, remember that if Vincenzo gets fucked, we all get fucked. So it would behoove you to adhere to tradition and follow the ritual properly so that no one gets, fucked. Capiche?
Capiche.
Vincent at this point is already, he's like drawing the lines out with the chalk and everything like that, and he's like setting the candles in place and shit like that around the room while Luke is just entertaining the girls. He just periodically keeps looking off like, we're gonna be here all fucking night. All right.
Now, whatever being owns this poor unfortunate soul will attempt to prevent us access more than likely. However, given their nature, he may be very willing to bargain a little. What I will need you to do with me, my friends, all three of you. So Vincenzo is going to kneel here in the center. Now you see where he drew the points. There are the 4 points around here. I need one of you to stand on each of these points, and I will stand on the fourth one.
Helena will just kind of do what's told, and she'll go to one of the points and stand.
Cassie, you stand on the left point.
Okay.
Miss, would you like to stand over here? Looking at
She
Teddy.
reluctantly steps onto the point.
What you're about to witness tonight is a most marvelous thing. We often believe that it is impossible to reach to the other side to talk to the souls of the dead, the dearly departed, but of course we know that's not true. We know that when we look at photographs, when we hear someone's voice on a recording, when we see an old video, things of that nature, we are reminded of that person, and it's almost as if they are with us again. So forever, human beings have been able to, in some way, shape, or form, contact the other side and contact the souls of their dearly departed. We are merely using a more, what should we say, Vincenzo, a more direct method?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely direct. In the
Very
way
good.
of like SWAT team breaking down your front door and then snatching you out of bed when you're still in your underwear.
Sort of like that, yes.
Yeah.
Now, Vincenzo will be the conduit. The creature, once it appears, will talk through Vincenzo. So do not be alarmed when you see Vincenzo acting or speaking differently. The four of us will form a chain around Vincenzo. We are his shield. If one of us breaks, if we let go, we will hold each other's hands. The spirits that will come to try and prevent Vincenzo from doing his duty will attempt to pass through us, but they cannot. As long as we maintain contact with each other and maintain the circle around Vincenzo, Vincenzo will be safe, and so too will we. So no matter what happens, no matter what you hear, do not break contact with the people on either side of you. Excellent. That's it. It's not more complicated than that. It's very easy. And we'll get you the answers you need, and you can give them to the prince, and you can be off the hook, as they say.
Like the Neverland boys. Happy thoughts.
Exactly. Are you ready, my friends? Vincenzo,
Uh-huh.
are you ready? Don't do like last time and stumble over the words and
Listen,
I need to redo it a couple of times.
no, we're not doing that. Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
I'm just
As he-
trying to break the ice, you know.
The ice
Well,
is
no.
broken. You did that when you talk about Stanley Tucci, God. But, whatever.
I get you. Have you ever seen the movie Big Night with Stanley Tucci?
Yeah,
At the
it's a
end, he's
great
got
flick.
that scene where he makes that ominous, fantastic.
Classic movie.
Fantastic. See,
I think I have a
Yeah.
VHS of it still.
Really?
Yeah,
That's quite excellent. Do you have a VHS? But anyway,
I did. Yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
Oh.
We'll talk later about it. but
Excellent.
No problem.
Remember, my friends, no matter what you see or hear, do not break the circle. If you do, we will all be properly fucked.
Okay. So Vincent lights the candles that are around him, and he pulls the items from the box. And he lays them out before him. And as he does, he sits there and he's slowly muttering to himself. And he says, muttering, like he's building up. And then he crosses himself. For what it's worth, And you see him put his hand, he interlaces his fingers and juts them out, holding the vial. And his eyes go from normal eyes, like you would normally see, to orbs of pure black that seem to smoke out from his eye, like the actual eye sockets themselves. And for a brief moment, his skin becomes transparent, and you see what amounts to as a blackened skull that would be his skull before his face reforms around it. I have a piece of you. I call you forth from the beyond. I call you forth, or you will suffer the consequences. You are to answer 9 questions, and 9 questions alone from those who are gathered. You will be honest, or you will be bound. And he takes the blood, cracks open the vial, and then coats his hand in it and begins drawing things on the ground before him. I summon you. I summon you. I summon, and as he pulls his hand back one more time, it looks as though he's grabbing almost a shadowed apparition as he pulls it from the ground, and it starts to absorb up into him.
Go ahead and give me a manipulation plus occult roll.
Got it.
Your target number is 7.
7.
You do have the blood of the victim, so I will give you a -1 on that. So your target is 6.
Okay. 4 successes.
As Vincent reaches out and calls this creature, you start feeling a coldness seep into the room. At some point, all the candles around blow out, and you're left in near darkness. There's just a little bit of light that's coming in. You can see at the very top of this room, there's a very small window in the ceiling that lets in just a little bit of moonlight. Vincenzo starts to call for this creature. You can feel movement around you. You see in the center of the circle that you are making in front of Vincenzo, you can see a small flame appear, but as opposed to normal fire, which kind of sends you fleeing, this one doesn't, because it's more kind of like a light than a fire. And it grows and it grows, and as it grows, and as Vincenzo pulls at it and continues to call on this thing to appear, you hear the sounds of people screaming, the sounds of moans of pain, of moans of pleasure. You hear basically what you would imagine it would sound like if you were to open a door from hell. And from this light, this strange sort of emanation starts to appear. It is humanoid in form, but dark and sort of difficult to see in this light. As it starts to form in front of him, you can see that it's writhing in agony, it's writhing in pain. Vincenzo, you feel that this thing, something is trying to hold it back, something is trying to pull it down. You're not just fighting its willpower, you're also fighting something else that's trying to keep it there. And then all of a sudden, the thing is in front of you. The moaning and the sounds and the screaming stop. I would like everyone that's around the room, other than Vincent, to give me a courage roll. You can either roll your courage if you want, or you can spend a willpower or a night move to make a successful roll if you want. But go ahead and roll a number of dice equal to your courage, and your target will be 6.
I'm going to spend a night move.
Okay.
I got 1 success, but it was a 10.
I'm also going to spend a night move.
You feel dread and fear suddenly grip your heart. You're seeing on the other side. You've seen some weird shit since you became vampires, but now you're seeing on the other side. You understand that whatever this thing is that's just been pulled, it's been pulled from some place that you would associate to the notion of hell. I don't know if your character believes in heaven and hell, things of that nature, but this thing clearly got pulled out from some underworld somewhere that is a pace of pain and suffering. And it's pulled out of there, and it's hanging now in front of Vincenzo. And as that happens, and as that creature sort of settles in, you each feel a cold breath on the back of your neck. Around the room, as you see the soul in front of you appear, around the room, you start seeing something else moving. There are what appear to be shadowy cloaked figures that are moving on the edges of the room, circling around you. You can hear a growing, whispering sound emanating from them. Luca says, "This is it, my friends. Do not break the circle. They will attempt to get to Vincenzo. You must not let them, no matter what you hear or see." And as he says that, these whispering shadows that are moving around you, that have these long, wide, elongated faces with wide mouths, start to hover around you. You feel their presence near you, enveloping you. Whoever your character has lost in the past few years, you get brief flashes of them. You catch a smell, a voice amidst the whispers. In the corner of your eye, a face. The souls of people who have meant something to you. Teddy, you hear Japanese voice reciting poetry. Helena, you see a bunch of children screaming as they're being eaten. Cassie, you don't see any of this. As you are standing there, you hear Vincenzo's voice. You start seeing the thing appear, but as the soul in front of you grows, it is suddenly replaced, and you see something that you've seen before, that you saw often for a while, but hadn't seen in a bit. There's this maze that opens up in front of you. You see the light emanating from it. It's growing brighter and brighter. You don't see Vincenzo. You don't see your friends anymore. You're flying over this maze. You can almost feel like you're getting the hang of it, like you know how to get to the center of it, like you know how to cross it. It's opening up in front of you. Vincent, the creature is in front of you. It is shackled to you now. You see there is a ghostly shackle around its neck and a chain that links it to you, and it's in your hands. And it's slowly disintegrating. You know you don't have a lot of time to ask your questions.
What is the significance of the list you carry? They are the betrayers.
There is this strange voice that comes out of Vincenzo. It's not his voice, it's another voice. It seems to come from very far away. The spirit in front of him moves its mouth, but the voice is coming from Vincent. Would you like to ask another question?
Technically, anybody can ask a question.
Betrayers of who?
Say that again, please.
Betrayers of who?
The unnamed one.
It's actually not very helpful, but thank you.
The unnamed one that lies beneath our feet.
I swear there's a Buffy season about this.
Season 7.
Yes, the final season. We already know that. Why the snakes?
One betrayer. Snake. Her children too must pay.
I think Teddy glances at Helena and her eyes kind of widen a bit.
I think very slowly you see Helena's head turn towards you, and she gives you a long, hard stare.
The whispers are still moving around you, coming closer to all of you. Their voices are starting to coalesce. You're starting to make out what they're saying. Vincent, the chain in your hand is becoming more and more tenuous. You know you don't have much time left.
Where are the betrayers? Where are the betrayers? Dead, but their progeny lives on.
You know that's partly a lie. You feel, Vincent, like this thing is partly lying to you, and it shouldn't be able to.
He like clenches around the chain and like with a quick quick snap of his wrist, the closest thing to causing pain to this soul, he inflicts upon it. One is in the cathedral, one in the chantry, one in the city.
As that last answer comes through, Helena, you feel the whisper that was next to you. His voice comes through. You start hearing the words. You see in front of you a beautiful sarcophagus. You see a group of worshippers. They look ancient Egyptian. They are wearing the clothes, the hair. They come to this sarcophagus. They open it. There is someone wrapped in beautiful, clean cloth inside. They very carefully, very reverentially lift the body out of the sarcophagus. They bring it to a table nearby. They unwrap it. As they unwrap it, you see that the body is you. As they unwrap it, your eyes start to open. They help you. You sit up. You stand up. They guide you. As they guide you, they give you a scepter. They give you a rod. They place a crown on your head. They bring you to a throne. You sit down on it. It has two snake heads where you would put your hands, and behind it is a tall golden statue of Set. A chain tied to the side of this throne leads all the way down a set of stairs, and at the bottom, chained around the neck, naked, bruised, battered, is Bahari. And you hear the whisperers coalesce in your ear. I can give this to you. Simply let go of the hand, and it is yours.
Whose hand am I holding? I think it's Teddy's on one
I
side.
do believe that Teddy is between the two of you, so you would be holding Teddy's hand and Luca's hand.
I think she's going to look at Teddy. I think she's going to give her hand a tight squeeze. I think in this moment, in this darkness, you see Helena's desire beyond earthly ones to let go.
You feel Teddy's hand clamp down harder on yours.
Don't let me go, Teddy.
I won't.
Do you have another question, Vincent?
What is their significance? The children of the betrayers.
You suddenly feel something you've never felt before, Vincent. You feel as if your own soul is being drawn out of you. And you clamp down on it and you hold it down. And as you do, you realize the chain is falling apart in your hands. The creature in front of you looks at you. And as it speaks, the voice comes from inside of itself, this time not through you, which you've never really seen happen. The only times you've seen this happen are with extremely powerful spirits where things go really wrong. You don't feel like you've lost control of this, though. It's a different situation. You feel you're still in control of it, but there's something else that is basically puppeting this thing. And it says, "The children live on. They must pay for those who have betrayed, those who have taken from the temple, those who have killed those who took care of the temple. This is a darkness that is not meant to cover your eyes now. But soon, very soon, you are pawns. You are pieces being moved about the board. You have no control over your actions. This is bigger than you." As you're hearing this, Teddy, you feel this presence wrap around you. Whispers around you are becoming clear. You hear, "It felt good to see him again, didn't it? Right now, while you are here, he is being killed. He is dying, his blood dripping to the ground." And as it says this, you see Lee. You see a woman you don't recognize, short, distorted, strange-looking blonde hair. You see bones protruding from her body, entering his. You see him writhing in pain. You see the bones digging into him. "If you leave now, I will make sure you arrive in time." That's what you want, isn't it? Just let go and run. I will ensure that you arrive in time to save him.
I think Teddy just starts saying out loud, "We have to stop. We have to stop right now. We have to stop."
What do you do, Vincent?
Do I hear her?
Yeah, you hear what's going on around you.
It's a trick. Don't listen to them. We have time for one question before the bond is broken.
Then fucking ask it.
And like with that, his head like snaps at Teddy, and like you see that like blackened skull of his with the smoke coming out of it, and he just bellows out at her, "You're the one with the questions. I am just the conduit. Ask it."
She's looking between Cassie and Helena, kind of rears back from this.
Where's the next move?
Where is the next move?
The voice comes back through you this time, Vincent.
Here. Now.
As he says this, Teddy and Helena, you see as you look at Cassie, Cassie has become engulfed in a myriad of colors. It looks as if her soul is being ripped out of her body. There are faces, there are voices, it's as if the soul of like a dozen people had been stashed inside her body and are kind of being ripped out of her and sort of swirling around her. Cassie, you are, remember when you were, one of your earliest memories being in an orphanage. You had a little cubbyhole. There was this little, behind the desk of one of the nurses' secretaries, there was a little vent trap in the wall, and it was pretty big, and it was big enough, you had discovered, for you to crawl through and go hide in there when you didn't want people to see you. You didn't want people to know where you were. You were hiding in there. You're in a little wide night shift, you're barefoot, you're maybe 8 or 9 years old, you're all scrunched up in this hole that's barely big enough for you. In the room, Cassie, you are different. You are not Cassie. You are a nun. You are a nun abandoned in a Christian orphanage. As a child, you were brought up in the service of God. You don't know your name, simply that you're blessed by God and hear his voice. You speak French. You know that you can keep the devil at bay by praying to God. You know that you can do this by asking him to shine his light down on you. I'd like everyone to roll initiative, please.
Uh-oh.
So for the initiative, you add your dexterity plus your wits together, and then you roll a d10 and add that to it.
I have a lot of math to do.
It's a 15 for me.
7. Also a 15.
I got a 13.
Wow.
Yeah.
14.
That's very nice. 15, 14, 13.
Yeah, I'm the one who's messing it up though, because Luca got 10.
Damn you, Blake.
Yeah, no.
It could have been so nice.
It could have been.
It would have been a
you
nice
know.
set of numbers.
Vincent, you feel this thing being pulled back where it came from. The chain in your hand breaks. You almost feel it being drawn out of you as this thing is swallowed back into the hell where it came from. the Bali soul having been sold a long time ago to some entity or other in the infernal regions, gets pulled back out in there. You know that the things that are around you are not physical. They are not corporeal creatures. They are some sort of spirit that are sort of swirling around the room, these whisperers. And you know that very likely fighting them physically is probably not going to be a good idea. The only thing you can really do is try to banish them. And you can see Luca is doing the same thing. He's like reaching in his pocket, and you can see him start pulling out some of his items that he uses in banishments. You're going to have to command these things to leave if you want them to go. Okay? At 15, Teddy and Helena, you see Cassie standing there with like this swirling color around her. She's talking in another language, which you might recognize as French. She's speaking French, and is just sort of standing there looking up at the sky as if imploring God. The moonbeam that is coming through the roof is falling kind of right down on top of her. She doesn't seem to be aware. Her eyes are rolled back. She doesn't seem to be aware of what's going on. Luca and Vincent seem to be like getting ready to do something about these spirits. These spirits are swirling around, and they're kind of coming at you, and you can tell that they're trying to kind of touch you or sort of move through you. There's still the doors there in the room. They're closed now, but there are a set of doors. I would like to know, what would you like to do at 15, both of you? For the record, Luca has let go of everybody's hands at this point, so you kind of get the feeling that that's probably not germane anymore.
I think Teddy's gonna go grab a hold of Cassie and try to shake her.
Give me what do you say? Do you say anything, or do you just shake her?
I think she calls her name. Cass?
Go ahead and give me an empathy and manipulation roll, Teddy. Cass, what is your conscience?
My conscience is 4.
All right, so your target is 6. Creep.
Okay. That is 3 successes.
Cassie, you're hiding away in this vent, and you hear outside a voice. It's very familiar. You don't quite know who it is. It's definitely an adult voice. It's calling you by name. It wants you. It's looking for you. It's asking you to come out. It doesn't feel like it's angry with you or anything. It feels like it's concerned. What do you do?
I think little Cassie will peek out from her little hidey hole, but not come out entirely. Hello?
Teddy, as you're shaking her and calling her name, you see for a moment a flicker of recognition in her eye. Underneath the French that she's speaking, you, for one split second, hear Cassie's voice say, "Hello." Helena, what are you doing?
So Luca is like starting to banish these things.
Yeah, it looks like he's pulling like rosaries and stuff like that from his...
I think she'll ask Luca, what can I do to help you?
Do you know anything about protection symbols? Occultism?
Yeah, that's like my whole thing. I'm in a store for that.
Well, then get to work. Change the runes on the floor. These are meant to protect from a spirit. They're not meant to protect from this kind of thing.
Okay. I think she'll get to work then.
Go ahead, Bones, and make me an intelligence plus occult roll.
Oh, no problem.
Your target's going to be 6.
Okay. I'm just going to use internet dice.
Interwebs.
You said my target is 6?
Yes.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Excellent. You get on the ground, you grab some of the chalk that was left behind, you start erasing certain symbols, you start rewriting some symbols. You're doing a pretty good job of it. You're drawing that out. It's going to pay off momentarily. At 14, Vincent, what do you do?
So Vincent still has all this like all of this necrotic energy still flowing through him at this point, yes?
Yep.
Can he see what is going on with Cassie at the moment?
That's interesting. Go ahead and give me a perception and occult roll.
All right.
Your target is, you said your conscious was 4, right? So your target's going to be 6.
That's 5 successes with 2 criticals.
The first thing I'm going to tell you is that there are no ghosts in or around Cassie. As you look at Cassie, you can clearly see that there's some sort of emanation, something kind of going on, but none of it's necromantic. There's no ghosts. There's no being that's possessing her. It's just Cassie who's there.
Okay.
But there is definitely some kind of supernatural event or emanation kind of happening. And your role is good enough that you can see that it seems to be emanating from somewhere over her breast or her collarbone, sorry. Like almost as if there's something under her, whatever she's wearing, her shirt or whatever that she's wearing. And it feels like things are coming from there, like escaping her body through there.
I think I would probably like literally rip at her shirt to get at it, whatever it is.
All right, so you're going to lunge forward and try to rip at it. I will say, Creep, you see this happening. You see Vincenzo sort of reach out and rip Cassie's shirt a little bit. You don't see anything, Creep, when that happens. Vincenzo, with your heightened senses and whatnot, you see almost as if there was like a little hole here. And like everything is kind of pouring out of there.
I think that in that moment, if I could, as an addition, I think he would look dead into Cassie's eyes, use command, knowing that I'm talking to the thing that is not Cassie, that is here, and say the word withdraw.
Okay, so you'll do that on your next action because you've already done an action, right? So you're preparing that. You've ripped the shirt. You see that. You're preparing to do that. Cassie at 13. You have 2 things here. One, you are still hearing the voice, but you also now feel something tugging at your shift here, as if someone's trying to pull your shift away from you as you're kind of maybe starting to crawl out of that little hole. What would you like to do? Do you follow it? Do you go out? Do you try to receive what would Cassie do?
Can I like look down at like my like chest area?
Yeah, when you look down, you can see that there is a wound, and you recall something as you're seeing this wound here, and you can see a little bit of blood eking out of it. You get an image. You remember Professor Halling digging something out of your skin there and removing it from you when you met him. Meanwhile, the other you that's in the room, you see these shadows sent by some demon or other. You don't know who it is. It doesn't matter. These creatures are evil. They are surrounding these people. You don't know these people, but you get the feeling that somewhere, somehow, some of them at least matter to you. And you can feel these dark shadows that are emanating. And you know the only thing that can banish the darkness of Satan is the light of God.
Can I would like to start to say a prayer. I don't know if this would be in French or not, but and if you give yourself to the hungry and satisfy the desire of the afflicted, then your light will rise in darkness and your gloom will become like midday. Isaiah 58:10.
It does in fact come out in French when you say it. Go ahead, Myriad. So, Myriad, you're going to make me a you're going to make me a manipulation and occult roll, but not with your own stats. So you're going to have 4 in manipulation, and you're going to have 3 in occult.
Okay. It's my target.
Your target is 7s.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 crit. So 5 successes and a crit.
Holy moly. So as a lot of you look, you hear this French prayer, what sounds like a prayer coming from Cassie's mouth. And as she does, you can see almost as if it's her body is kind of opening up. You can see this golden heart that sort of seems to appear in front of her, and you can feel waves of, you don't see light, there's nothing visual, but it's almost as if you feel waves of the warmth of the sun kind of wash over you. And as they spread out through this room, you see these creatures that were flitting around you start to explode as their shadowy form catches in golden light and fire. They start to pop one after the other as this light spread, as this French prayer keeps going on. They all explode one after the other. Moments after this, after the last one explodes, suddenly the lights are back on, the lamps are lit in this room. Cassie drops to the ground. There's no light or no shadows. There is nothing on the ground. Vincent is still kind of half holding on to Cassie, and you can maybe, you and Creep can kind of grab her as she falls to the ground. As you're holding her, you're just finishing your thing, Helena, on the ground, and you're very proud of your work. It was beautiful work. And Lucas falls down and sitting, and he looks at the ground, and he looks at you, and he goes, "This is very nice work you've done. You've lost your voice. It is such a beautiful work that you've lost your ability to."
I've done a lot of reading.
Well, it's very good. I like it. Maybe a little, like, this line could be a little bit, and he starts to kind of like,
She sort of cuts him a look and then looks back at Teddy and Cassie and Vincent.
Vincent and Teddy, you are on either side of Cassie, each of you kind of holding Cassie up. Cassie, you're coming back too. You are mumbling in French, and as you're mumbling in French, you realize you don't speak French. And the second you realize that, you start talking in English again. You have no real clue what just happened, Cassie, in the room. All you remember is being the little girl hidden in the vent and hearing the voice of Teddy calling out to you. And you remember seeing the wound and the thing from Professor Halling, but you don't remember the shadow in the room.
As I'm like coming to, you guys will hear Cassie say, "Hello, help, I'm here." And that's sort of as she starts to come to.
Cass, you're fine, Cass.
Come on back. Come on back.
It was an event.
Well, you're here now.
Did this summoning go well?
It went.
Yeah, it went. It went, sweetheart. Yeah, it went.
I think Teddy's gonna look across to Vincent. You said that what the ghosts show you is a lie.
Sometimes.
You okay, Teddy?
I saw Lee. I saw Lee dying. I think I have to go.
Do you want some
Okay,
company?
we'll come with you.
Yeah.
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 She's gonna stand up and help Cass up as she's standing.
Yeah, Cassie gets up. She's a little like a baby giraffe.
Woozy.
Whoa, easy.
Ended up going to the zoo after all.
You are the zoo.
Luca looks at you and goes, hey, so I'll clean this up, Vincenzo. If you've got to go, go. But he comes over to you, and he kind of comes close, and he says, whatever that thing was, it is aware of all of you now. You have to be very careful.
Yeah, Luca, we know.
This was a mise en scène. This was a play written by something. Be mindful. I will talk to Atias.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Oh, and he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out 2 flat copper coins, unmarked, unstamped, and he throws them in the center of the center of the summoning circle. And he just looks around the room to get you across.
A lot of you will head out, running off, getting out of the mausoleum. When you come out the way you came in, the doors to the room that were filled earlier with some sort of funeral or service are wide open. There's nothing in the room. There's just a dais. There's some candles that are not lit, but there are no people, just empty chairs. You still hear that discordant note of the violin playing through this mausoleum somewhere, but it is very distant now. You hop into the car. Vincent, you realize you have no clue where you're going.
Muted.
Where to?
I imagine she saw him at his house.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's gonna give you the address.
He just smiles. Well, let's get there. And he reaches down underneath and he flips a small switch, and blue lights start flashing out of the front of the car and out of the back of the car. Always pays to go to police auctions. And he just floors it.
Doing it all alone. He's an undercover cop. He's a wise guy. What was his name? The guy? Nice guy.
He was from the book Wise Guy.
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas is the
That
movie.
TV show in the 80s, Wise Guy. There was a guy who was undercover. Anyways.
We were children in the 80s.
I wasn't
You
born.
rush.
Me either.
You rush across town. You eventually arrive at a little townhouse that's kind of isolated near a little wooded area. You pull up to it. The front door is open. As you get out of the car and start looking, you see quite a vast amount of blood on the ground in front of the steps and up the steps leading to the house. As I said, the door is open. The house is dark and kind of quiet.
I think Teddy gets out of the car without even a second thought, and she's gonna run straight into the house.
Cassie's
Okay.
like on Teddy's tail.
Helena?
I think Helena's behind them. I think she is. Is there like a side yard?
Yeah.
Okay, Helena's gonna take a side yard and she's gonna be looking to see if something is still there.
Ready to go around the side? And Vincent, what are you doing?
I am gonna do more spooky shit.
Spooky.
Spooky shit. He's gonna open his trunk and he's gonna pull out 2 black candles and a piece of chalk, stick them into his coat pocket, and just slowly start walking up, just looking around.
As you're walking around, Vincent, your phone rings.
Pulls it out. Yeah.
You hear a voice that you recognize. It's Ludovica from New York. I felt that.
You felt what?
Through the blood, I felt whatever you just did. Think it's time for you to come visit me.
We kind of got our hands full a little bit right now, but can it wait till tomorrow, at least?
Fine. Tomorrow night it is.
Okay.
phone hangs up.
He's just a shit.
And what were you doing around with the council and all that, Kurt? Sorry.
He's walking around. He's following the blood trails around. He'll probably stick his finger in it and taste it to see whether or not it's kindred or
It is kindred blood. Yeah.
He pulls out, like when he realizes that it's kindred blood, he pulls out like a vial, napkin, something along those lines, right? And he just tries to scoop up as much of it as he can and puts it in his pocket.
So just to make sure I've got this correctly, Vincent and Helena are going around the house?
No, like
following the blind side, so you're going inside also?
Like they all took off like bats out of hell, and he's making a very slow, methodical approach to what's happening.
Like he's going around.
Yeah, he's like, oh, blood on the ground. Let me check this out here. Let me get a little sample of this. Let me.
Okay, Cassie and Teddy, you get into the house. You blood everywhere still as you're moving around. You can see trails of blood. You follow the trails of blood. It's clear there was some sort of fracas here. That there's a table that's overturned, a chair that's broken, some glassware that's kind of been smashed. You can see that at some point something or someone was pinned to a wall. There's like, kind of a blood on the wall that suggests that, and then holes. But then the blood keeps going, and you see there's a sliding door in the back. The door is open. There are like these really long vertical blinds. They're moving in the wind, and they're all covered in blood also, as if something very bloody kind of went through them. And now they're just sort of moving like this.
Yeah, Teddy's following that, and she's not being quiet either. She's very much so shouting Lee's name as she's doing this sweep through the house and following the blood through.
You go through, you run out the back door. You see Helena, you come around the building at the same time. You see Teddy come out through the sliding door and back on the porch, and both of you at the same time see a mound of dirt in the backyard with a shovel planted in the ground next to it. What do you do?
Teddy starts digging, like with her hands, like a dog. Like she gets down on all fours and starts digging.
I think Helena will help her. She'll grab the shovel and start digging with her.
The two of you
Cassie's gonna drop down next to Teddy.
Oh, hold on, Cassie. I'm not done with you yet.
Oh, why?
Oh, not the baby.
As you watch Teddy run out through the blinds, and you're about to follow her, your phone rings.
Hello?
I'm sorry it took me so long to call you, child. I've been hesitating. It's a voice you don't recognize, a man. I know I haven't been much of a father to you, but I'm thinking it might be time for you to come see me. I was in Gary up until recently, but I pulled up stakes. I'm over at Liberty Harbor RV Park in New York now. I can't really miss my RV. If you were ever in the area, I think maybe it might be good for us to meet and talk a little bit, just father and daughter.
My dad's in jail.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. You know what I mean, not your human father, but I'm the one who made you the way you are now.
Yeah, you're the one that tackled me to the ground while I was like mid overdose, and then decided that you were gonna make a meal out of me, and then bury me, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, I know that a lot's been going on, and I've been watching it. I've been hearing and hearing about it, and I know I can't quite make up for what I did, but If you'll give me a chance, I'd like to, maybe try to help you a little bit and maybe bring some clarity and try to make up a little bit for what I done to you.
Cassie takes the phone away from her ear, stares at it for a second, and then closes it and starts heading out towards where Teddy went.
So just for the record, when you looked at your phone, you saw it was dead.
Fuck. She closes it, shoves it in her pocket, and she's going outside.
Outside, Teddy and Helena, you're digging. Teddy, your hands are starting to grow into claws so that you can dig faster. You're digging into it. Eventually, you hit wood. You keep digging. You start ripping. There's like this very roughly made kind of coffin made of just planks and whatever kind of old planks are kind of lying around. You rip it out. When you do, you open it. You see Lee lying in this coffin in the ground. You see that his ribs have been kind of pushed in and sort of come out through his chest, where like it would go through his heart, sort of thing. He looks kind of out of it. He's not conscious or anything. When you rip that out, you notice that there is a piece of paper that is kind of stuck under his jacket like this and kind of sticking out very conspicuously. But he is unmoving and appears to be paralyzed.
As far as what I know that I could do to help him, what would I know?
Whatever he's got is going to be aggravated injuries, very grievous. So the only thing that's going to really help him get through it is going to be a little bit of time and healing, but definitely blood would be the main thing he would need to try and give him the strength necessary to start healing himself.
I think in this mania right now that she's experiencing, because her face, her body language, the way she's moving, the way that she's just been raw dog digging through dirt, she is very manic looking right now. And when she sees him, another wave of panic washes over her, and her claws that are already out, she doesn't think twice before just slicing open her wrist and pressing it to his face.
You do that, and at first nothing happens. You can just feel the blood sort of dripping into his mouth. Moments later, he starts to move. He starts to voluntarily drain at you. He starts to voluntarily drink at you. One of his hands comes up and grabs you. When he moves, you hear snaps, and the bones that are in his chest, as the wounds start to close, are pushed out, and you realize they're not his bones. They were placed there, but they're not his bones, and they start to be pushed out as he's starting to heal. However, you can see that he's very now aggressively sort of drinking from you, and I'm going to do just a test for him to see if he can. He grabs your arm with both of his hands, and you can feel now his fangs biting into you as he starts to just draw on you, and his eyes are completely red and sort of given over, and you can tell he's got barely any control over himself. He's just drinking from you. You've lost 1 point of blood at this point, and he's still drinking. What would you like to do? Helena, you're there also. Cassie, you're arriving. Vincent, you've been kind of following the blood and sort of whatnot. You hear the noise out back, screaming, whatnot. Do you move faster, or do you stay where you are?
Yeah.
So you start arriving around the corner. Cassie, you're arriving next to them. Helena, you're there. I'm going to go around and ask you, each of you, what you want to do in this particular moment. And we'll start with you, Teddy, since you're the one who's in there. You can see that he's probably not going to voluntarily let go of you.
I feel initially I'm almost transfixed by this, frozen. And she's just kind of holding her arm there, but also watching these pieces of bone just push through his body. And she's frozen.
Helena.
Helena's gonna step up. Is he still in the casket in the ground?
Yeah, he's kind of like a little sitting up in it now, and like he's kind of pulled Teddy into it with him. They're both sort of, she's like kind of halfway in there with him, and he's just like
So
like it's a coffee crisp.
Boot to chest, and then Helena's hand over Teddy's arm, and she's gonna tell him that's enough, and she's gonna try and wrench Teddy's arm free.
You're gonna do that physically?
Yeah, but I'd also like to. I don't know if this works using my awe. Not so much, I don't think.
No, it's not gonna work for this.
No, but I'll try and physically do it. Because, and actually, can I go ahead and use a night move to do it?
Yeah, sure. I'll totally let you do that.
Yeah. I can see this going south pretty quick, and if Teddy's so transfixed on this, I think that there needs to be some intervention here.
Okay, and what are you gonna do, Cassie?
I wasn't sure if one of my dementation powers would work. Passion.
The passion of the Christ.
I can stir a victim's emotion, either heightening them or blunting them. And I was wondering if I could blunt that kind of fervor that he's having.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. So go ahead and make your roll. Your roll is going to be charisma plus empathy. He unfortunately doesn't have a humanity score, but it's going to be, I'm going to see you have a target of 7.
Okay. That is 3 successes.
Okay. Vincent, you arrive, you see this going on there. What are you going to do? You're still kind of a little bit further away. You're just running the corner. You see all 3 of them kind of fighting something or dealing with something in a bit of a pit that there just seems to have been dug out there.
It was Helena able to pull Teddy free?
I'm basically just seeing what everyone's doing, and all this is kind of going to happen at the same time.
If he sees that, to be perfectly honest, he's gonna run up, grab the shovel out of the ground, and hit Lee in the face to break him off of her.
Okay, so by the time you get there and do that, so this is the this is how that's gonna happen. Your Teddy is transfixed, and it's just letting this happen. You're gonna lose another blood point, Teddy. Helena, you start pulling, and you're getting some traction. He's not letting go. So as you're pushing Teddy away, you're successful in pushing Teddy away. He's following along, and you're having kind of difficulty just sort of breaking that. And then Cassie comes in and, comes down next to him and puts a hand on her head and goes, calm down, shh, calm down. And as she does that, you can see that the fervor sort of goes down in his eyes a little bit, and you're able, even with your paltry strength, Helena, but with the 9 move, you're able to sort of push Teddy away, and his fangs rip out of your arm. You're going to take a wound, Teddy, as his fangs just sort of rip out of your arm. You get pushed back with Helena sort of on top of you, holding you back. Vincent, you arrive, you grab the shovel. Are you going to still swing and hit?
Does he move to go after Teddy?
No, it looks like under Cassie's kind of touch and sort of pushing down, it looks like he's kind of settling back down into the thing. Into the coffin.
Then no, I will not hit him in the fucking face with a shovel. Don't you fucking look at me that way. You're in a panic state. I'm the only one thinking clearly here. I think though what he will do though is he will, having woken up many a kindred who were in torpor and knowing how they get, I think he literally puts a foot on his chest and kind of keeps him in the hole. Using his potence, like, down boy, stay.
And as the four of you gathered around this casket with Lee in it, being soothed down by Cassie, your foot stomping down on him to holding there, Helena kind of holding back Teddy. We're gonna go on break here.
He didn't mean to hurt me. I'm sure of it.
He loves you.
Yeah, he loves me. He told me. God damn it.
We are back with our vampires, who have just, undergone a bit of a traumatic event. What happens when the Giovanni and the Zimshis kind of get involved into business? It's never good. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Little brief reminder, we do have a Patreon up. If anyone feels like checking it out, give us some support. You get all sorts of little goodies. Like there's currently a little there's a video up there right now, which is the after session talk with Ian, Cato, and Alex after the last session of Sabbat from last week. So we recorded that, and that's available for our patrons. That's up there now. We're going to record more of those. There's a bunch of different things. So you can check out our Patreon. The link is in the chat. And you can join for free. You don't even have to pay if you don't want to. There's a free tier that you can join in, and you get access to a chat with other people, and there's a bunch of goodies there too. So yeah, just check it out if you want. I would also like to invite you all to check out the links of these four amazing performers. All that stuff's going to pop in chat. Check out their links. Go see their stuff. All of them are amazing role players, amazing artists. The characters, the character art that we have for the main characters was done by Myriad. So very talented. Thank you so much. Creep, of course. Amazing mini painter, doing a lot of great stuff, a lot of Warhammer these days. And Bones for showcasing a lot of great indie games. I know you had an interview yesterday with an indie developer. So showcasing all of that. And there's Bones After Dark now, rare, which I'm sure Bones will tell you all about at the end of the game. And of course, Kurt with Broken Brain Games Publishing. Doing a lot of third-party stuff for some Shadow Dark coming up, and also more work and whatnot. So all very creative people, all definitely worth your time to check out. So check out their links. My friends, Bones is up all night, yes. We are moments, I guess, after what just occurred. Let's go around the table and see what your characters would like to do. So there's still a bit of time before Dawn shows up. Teddy, you've taken a wound. You could spend a blood point if you want to heal it.
Yeah, sure. When does it start to get crucial for me?
It starts to get ugly when you're about three blood left.
Okay, I'm at 4, so we're fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry.
Everything's fine. Like right now, you just could go for like a little munchies. Get the munchies. It's not
little barbecue.
Little barbecue. Stop at the 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
The 7-Eleven in Schenectady. Mary's gonna kill me. If I die, I want y'all to know that if I die in mysterious circumstances in next week, also.
Can I have your stuff?
It's probably Myriad.
Yeah.
You can have my stuff.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
I've already put you in my will, Creep. You're getting all my Sisters of Mercy vinyl.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's go.
What about your Iron Maiden vital? Can I get that?
You can get that if you want.
Can I have your glowing lamps? Like your little candle lamps? That's all I want.
I'm just taking the body with me.
And I'll never be heard from again.
We know. No, we're gonna have
this video lives on as proof.
We're gonna have you taxidermied. Put you in the corner.
Just who's that?
You can go stand next to Cardboard Cooper.
Yeah, just pop a Bleak, just sitting there.
We'll pose you.
I can't wait to have all 3 of you taxidermied in my house at some point.
Sitting around a table with some dice and some papers, just always ready to play a game. We are a macabre bunch of motherfuckers. All right. So what happens after this? So you have successfully pulled Lee out from his comatose state, his semi-torpid state. What do you all do? And I guess let's start with the person who was just about to get eaten, Teddy.
I think Teddy's just trying to kind of help Lee up and situate her own thoughts a little bit. She was a bit manic there for a minute. And now she's kind of coming down off of that, and the exhaustion is kicking in a little bit. So yeah, she's just trying to help Lee up and right herself.
Lee is still kind of weak. He's only got 2 blood in him, so you can see that he's but he's at vampire blood, so he's gonna need more. He's obviously been through a lot. Like, he's got wounds all over. The thing you notice is that aside from one massive wound in his chest, all his wounds seem to be fairly superficial. So in game terms, only that wound seems to be aggravated. The rest don't seem to be. Which to you is interesting, because there's no reason someone would not have done aggravated damage, especially if they want to kill him. So it kind of makes you wonder what this entire thing was all about. Why wasn't he killed? Like, it's clear that whoever did this to him could have killed him.
I think in the process, she also, when she kind of like clears her head for a second, she's gonna pluck that note off of him and give it a quick once over.
All you see is written in crayon in what appears to be a very childlike handwriting is the word traitor.
Fuck.
In crayon.
She shows it to Helena.
She'll sort of thumb the paper and sort of flip it over. And...
Helena, do me, as you do that, go ahead and give me... we're going to do perception, and then you're going to do... Oh, you don't really have... you don't have medicine. I'll give you a shot anyways. So give me a perception investigation.
Perception and investigation.
And give me a 7.
And you want me to roll you 7?
Yeah, give me a 7 with those dice.
Hold on, I'm trying to look to see where my investigation is.
It's at 2.
Okay, thank you. So 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're looking for a 7, baby.
That's right.
And a 10 is a crit, baby.
All right.
But I got also 2 other successes.
Okay, you look at that like, oh, that's just kind of weird. Is that? Yeah, that crayon is human fat.
She's not a marine. She wouldn't be eating the crayon.
It's not. It's human fat.
Okay, that's fair. Nobody liked my joke.
No, well, I got it.
Okay, but you didn't laugh.
No, because I'm not a member of the other arms of the military, so I don't care about jarheads.
Kurt. Kurt's so happy right now. Anyway, so yeah, Helena will sort of relay that information. Animal fat? Gross.
Strange.
Wow.
Lee?
Just before you get into roleplaying, let me just ask what everybody else is doing, and then
Yeah, of course.
roleplaying stuff. Okay. Cassie.
Cassie's gonna sort of stand there for a moment, just kind of making sure everything's kosher before going over to Vincent.
Guess you're gonna talk to Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Vincent, are you doing anything else, or are you gonna just talk to?
No, he's gonna he's gonna basically kind of like shuffle his way over to Cassie, kind of unsure what to do with this particular situation. He was expecting to find a corpse, but it's still mostly alive. So he's just kind of like, out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's do these role-playing bits. So yeah, Teddy, you're with Lee, and Helena, you're there. You can see that he's like, he's not shivering, but he's kind of giving signs of withdrawal. Like, he's definitely like kind of not feeling good, and obviously still kind of hungry.
Hey.
He looks up and sees you.
It's me.
I'm sorry. Did I hurt you?
No, you didn't hurt me. What happened?
Still hungry.
Yeah.
You can see he's he's fighting that hunger. When you told me Birdsong was here, I thought it was impossible. I thought he was dead. When I showed up, you were here. You were waiting for me on the front steps. And you came over to me, and I was wondering why you were here, what you were doing there, and you embraced me, and you started kissing me, and then I realized it wasn't you, but it was too late at that point. It was this girl named Verena. She has this fucked up ability to change her body however she wants, and she made herself look like you, and it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty close enough that it fooled me long enough. But then she just tore into me and just started ripping me apart, and I lost track at some point. We were in the house. I was pinned to the wall. She was just doing some fucked up shit to me, just moving my bones inside of me and piercing me with them. It was just the most fucked up, atrocious pain I've ever felt. And then next thing I know, you're on top of me, and I'm drinking your blood, and I'm sorry. I know I lost control there, but it was just impossible to hold on. And in fact, like you can see all throughout this speech, he's kind of been moving closer to you, and his hand has reached out for your arm. And he's like, I'm really sorry. It was just kind of beyond my control, and he's kind of pulling your arm up.
She kind of takes her other hand and guides it back down, but she will take the arm that he's trying to raise. She's gonna kind of hold his hand with it.
I'm sorry, Diddy.
It's okay, Lee. Who's Verena? Who is this? Do you know her?
Yeah. Someone I used to run with back in the day. She's back in the day with Birdsong and all that. We're gonna have to talk about this at some point. I'm just not really in a place to do that right now. So
yeah, let's get you somewhere safe. How about? And she kind of looks back to Helena. Do you? And
then you see something clicks in his eyes. You say that, and he's like, and he looks at you kind of funny, and he backs away a little bit, and he's like, he looks at the other three. I'm sorry, I just started thinking, what if this was another one of her tricks, but she couldn't split herself into four.
She's gonna stop him and like hold his face and kind of force him to look in her eyes. It's me, and I'm here, and you're okay. Everything is fine, Lee. Helena, do you think we could stay with you tonight?
I think she'll look at Teddy and then over to Lee. You're not afraid of snakes, are you?
I think after Verena, I'm not afraid of anything else that God put on this green earth.
Yeah, of course. She'll look back at Teddy as she says that. I would imagine Helena has blood in her fridge.
Yeah, you probably have something on hand, yeah.
Yeah, I've got something for you at the house if you need it.
Lee looks over at Cassie and Vincent and says, is that one of the Giovanni?
It is.
What the fuck?
Cass is kind of seeing him. We can talk about stuff when we get somewhere safe. I don't think we should be standing around here.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, thanks. I don't know how you found me, but
we can talk about it when we get somewhere safe.
he looks at you, Helena. Thanks. also.
Don't mention it.
Over yonder, Cassie, you move over to Vincent, who's got candles in his hands for some reason.
They're in my pockets.
He's either got candles in his pocket or he's happy to see you.
Both.
I was just gonna make that joke.
Both.
Yeah, Cassie's gonna sort of sidle up. She's very much keeping an eye on the entire situation as she sort of shuffles over. I got a phone call. No, it actually wasn't really a phone call, but someone contacted me.
Yeah, I got a phone call too. Who contacted you?
What's it like when who embraces you?
Yesiah?
Yeah, he said he was my dad, but my dad's in jail, and I don't think he would make his one phone call to me. So
Yeah, more and more of these more modern knights, they adopt those things, your dad, your mom, your whatever, the person who made you.
yeah, he told me he was he wanted to talk to me to make things better, right?
What did you tell him?
So he didn't actually call me. It was more in my head. But I think I did hang up on him in my own way.
Okay. Like Vincent just very much pauses in that moment. Just okay. So what do you want to do about it?
Would you go with me to New York?
Funny thing you should say that. I've been recalled.
Like a bad product?
Sorta. Basically, long and short, whatever we just did caused some waves through the shroud. And my mentor, who's in New York, says that, well, she needs to bring me up to speed on a few things. And so I'm having to go to New York regardless. I've already called Marco. Plane's getting fueled up. Leave tomorrow at sunset. You're more than welcome
It was
to come.
really just as fate would have it,
Well, maybe.
Also, we kind of, because of the whole Lee thing, did I do something weird before?
And I think at that, he puts his arm around her and starts walking towards the car, and he just kind of looks over at Helena. I got a cooler in the trunk with 2 bags. I'm gonna go get it. Keep them here. Yeah, honey. You did some weird things. Because he's walking off with Cassie. Leaving you 3 over there.
He's fucking bossy.
He always has everything.
Lee, don't feel the need to take blood from him. I've got blood at my house, man.
He's like one of those doomsday preppers. You ever watch those shows?
Oh, my grandparents were really into those. I think my grandpa wanted to be a prepper, but Mima wasn't really into that.
I think he's got one of those bags in his trunk. What do they call that? Bug out bag.
Bug out bag. Yeah,
he's that guy.
Yeah,
He's
my
that
grandpa
guy.
had one. Yeah.
He's probably got a bunker or something weird.
It's fucking weird. It's
he's a
annoying.
Giovanni. He probably has a fucking mausoleum hidden underground somewhere.
Yeah,
Let's face some facts.
I bet he does. The problem is, great, be a prepper, do your thing. Don't boss me around. I own my own fucking business. I'm franchised up in this bitch.
I've been to your store. It's very nice, Helena.
He's the smelly one I was telling you about.
What are you doing in my store? Did you buy anything?
Yeah, I got Teddy a dream catcher. I don't remember I got her some stuff at some point when she was kind of
Okay,
like
well,
going really like living
when
out in the woods
when
and all
you
that. I
do
thought
that,
maybe.
you have to tell the kids who are working the front that you know me and you get a discount.
No, but it's your business. I don't want to go to your place of business and take out of your pocket. You know,
You're
like
not taking
it's-
out of my pocket, I assure you. The business is fine. The
Okay.
shop's great. We have a tea house. It's good shit.
Okay, cool. I'll
You did-
remember that next time. Hey, Jeremy, thank you for dropping in. Thank you so much, Wanderer's Haven. We're playing some vampire here, fighting people.
But yes, Cassie, you did some weird shit.
I mean, I've done weird things before. But like how we like on a scale of like 1 to 10, with 10 being like, wow, that was really you shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't have been able to do that. What's going on there, bud? And 1 being like, oh, that's fine.
You started speaking French?
I don't know French.
Well, apparently somebody inside you does. Oh, also, one other particular thing, and he gestures towards the like tear in your shirt, right?
Oh, yeah, what happened? I really like this shirt.
That's my fault. And we'll get it fixed. We'll get it hemmed up, no problem. But I need to
look.
I need to know. And he gets like real close, like, and kind of like looks over, and you can see the look on his face where he's looking to make sure that neither Teddy nor Helena nor fucking goddamn man in a box over there,
Lee.
Lee, can hear him. Did you have something taken out of you?
Are you going to be mad at me if I say yes?
No, it's gonna be, this is one of those like spooky things, right? Whatever it was that was affecting you was coming from, and he gestures to that spot. But when I saw it, it looked like a hole, like something had been removed.
5 years ago, Professor Hollings
That
removed.
name keeps coming up. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem that's going to keep coming up for the foreseeable future. I feel like he took something out of me, though, and then I saw a woman in the maze.
What's the maze?
It's just like a thing that I kept seeing for a while after I was embraced. I just kept seeing a maze. It was like I was floating over it. And then there was a woman there. She was very nice. Very nice woman.
Are you okay?
I'm a little anxious for no reason in particular.
Okay. And I think that Vincent at that point like grabs her and hugs her tight. Well, I guess we're going to New York. You ever been to the Big Apple?
I've never left Chicago.
Well, that's a first for everything, I guess.
Are we going on a plane?
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Nah, it'd be great. Learjet, private. It's amazing.
Cool. How high up do planes go?
You know, let's not concern ourselves with that one right now if you have a little
Okay.
bit of a fear of flying, okay?
So you'll come back. He brings back a couple of containers of blood that are in like repurposed Pinot Noir bottles.
Of course they are.
It's Cabernet.
He'll take them and thank you very much. So Teddy, Helena, and Lee are going to go to Helena's shop. Vincent and Cassie going somewhere, going each your separate ways.
I think honestly, Vincent is gonna drop Cassie off to go be able to talk to the boss, but he's very much the whole, I'm going to be back before dawn.
Vincent has a key, so it's fine.
I think Teddy's gonna speak up and suggest that Cassie doesn't go home alone, that she comes with us.
Yeah. Sleepover?
I don't think you should be alone. I don't think any of us should be alone. They said that thing could look for us. Am I hearing this right, Vincent, that this thing's just out there and it could just come find us?
No, it doesn't work quite like that.
Yeah, but obviously something can replicate us. And I'd rather know that the real one of us
We should have a
is
password.
here.
Oh, you're talking about whatever this person is.
This thing.
The Zamitsi. Oh, trust me, if they want to get close to you, there's nothing you can do about it.
I think a password would make it a little harder, though.
Maybe.
About
I
like
think Bazinga.
I think we
Bazinga,
should all stick together.
I think Teddy's
Regardless.
right.
crankshaft.
Crankshaft's good. Teddy's right though. Just come on, Cassie. I brought all those VHSs that you like.
Prince.
We can pick him up on the way.
Yeah. I'll put Gilgamesh up.
Can we watch the Scooby-Doo one?
Yeah. With the Scooby-Doo Halloween episode, the school with the little girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the best Scooby-Doo Halloween episode.
You're gonna put Gilgamesh up?
Yeah, I'll put him up.
Okay, he stares at me really weird sometimes.
Yeah, I'll put the curtain up. We can't have another incident where Prince flings him around again.
Can Vincent come too?
Of course.
Yeah.
Vincent
He
in
won't
this
be on your floor.
Vincent in this moment very much tries to read Teddy and Helena after Cassie suggests that he come too.
Do you have aspects?
No, it's not that he's supernaturally trying to read them, but it's one of those, are they doing the whole, yeah, sure, he can come.
No, you don't see that from Teddy.
Okay.
You see that Teddy is really wrapped up in her own thoughts right now of all this that's happened. And you coming along is a non-factor to her. That's a, yeah, of course, sure. But it's not a bad thing.
I think Helena wants to show that she does not want you there, but you should be there. She's being outwardly a tough guy.
Well, regardless, I've got to go see the boss first, and I've got to coordinate a plane.
There's a call. I'll just call my cell and I'll let you in.
A plane?
Yeah, Cassie and I got to go to New York tomorrow night.
I've got to go to New York tomorrow as well.
Do we all have to go to New York for some reason?
Wait, you have to go to New York? She looks to Helena.
I was gonna mention, would you come with me?
Yeah, of course.
Do you have anything going on in New York, Teddy?
Not that I know of, no, but I just don't. I just think we're better all together. And if everyone's going to New York, I guess I'm going to New York too. And she kind of like glances over at Lee.
Lee right now is, you see him, he's wandered off. There's a cat that's coming in the backyard and he's like, here buddy, come and see Uncle Lee. Come on buddy, just take a bite, come on.
Vincent brought blood for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's kind of iffy about drinking the Giovanni blood, to be honest.
It literally is just type A blood. Like it.
Well, I know,
It
but
comes from a blood bank.
Lee.
Yeah. Sorry.
Please don't eat the
Shit,
cat.
is that your cat?
It's not, but
were
it
gonna
could
eat
be
the cat?
Nora's. So maybe we shouldn't eat the cat.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't think
Sorry.
Nora would like that.
Don't eat the cat.
Drink. Vincent brought you
Oh.
some blood, and she like kind of glances at Vincent, and at this point, like her suspicion is dwindling. Can we just
All right, fine, just give me the blood. And he takes it and he uncorks it and he downs the first bottle in moments and he just lobs it over his shoulder. And as he opens the second one, he's like, actually, we probably don't want to leave that hanging there. He downs the second one and then...
Wait, are they wine bottles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Helena goes to collect them. Great candle holders.
You can just refill them.
I can upcharge these.
Oh, that hit the spot. He looks at you, Teddy. He goes, you taste much better, though, but...
She blushes.
Thanks, Mr. Giovanni.
I hope that Cassie and Vincent both just literally just do the whole...
Yeah.
Helena's double winking.
So we're all going to New York tomorrow, and would you like to go to New York with us, Lee? I mean, I don't really feel comfortable with you being alone again with this
How are we
arena.
going there?
She like looks to the group.
I got a plane.
He's got a plane.
Cassie
got a
makes a little
plane.
flying motion.
Vincent has a plane.
Okay. Actually, that's maybe not a bad idea.
Here's a better question. Are you going to be fit to go?
Yeah, I'll
Listen,
probably need a couple more of these little
if you
sip and
need...
goes.
I don't know what your constitution is like. I'm not going to lie. But I can put you in a safe house if you need to recuperate.
I'm not leaving him.
I'll be
Okay.
fine.
It kind of seems like he was targeted and probably maybe not leave him alone.
That would be the point of the safe house. He would not be
Yeah,
alone.
but I think it would
I'm
Teddy
going
would
with
feel
Teddy.
more at ease.
I'm gonna go with Teddy.
She looks at Vincent. Just out of curiosity, if you were in this scenario, what
Mhm.
would you do, Vincent? Would you leave Cassie alone?
And what if I knew that she needed to be on the mend? Like,
If someone was actively hunting her,
well, it looks like they found him and got him. No offense. I don't think they're actively hunting him anymore. I mean, if not, this is a really fucked up way of playing cat and mouse.
No, I think there was a message being sent and it was sent. If Orion had wanted to kill me, she would have just killed me. There was nothing I could do. So this is about something else. We'll talk about it.
Listen, if he's fit to fly, he's fit to fly. I'm just saying, don't push it too
Mr.
hard.
Giovanni, can I ask you for another favor?
Yeah, what's that?
You, and I'm sorry if this sounds, like I'm doing some racial profiling here, but I assume you have crews that clean up murder scenes and houses?
Already put the call in. Marco's
All right.
gonna be here with 4 guys.
Thanks.
Does Marco ever sleep?
Is
Yeah.
Marco okay?
What's Marco's
As
pay
you-
like?
Sorry, go
He
ahead.
gets paid very well.
As a lot of you will split up at your different ways, you can't help but remember some of the last few words the spirit spoke through Vincent and spoke to you all about you all being pawns and being pieces being moved around the board by greater powers. And as you, of course, notice the convergence towards New York, I'm sure none of you are feeling too good about it, but there it is. You will each head over, a group of you over to Helena's. Vincent going over to your house. We'll do that first. As you pull up, Vincent, at the building where Atias Giovanni, the Primogen, has his penthouse. And just for the people watching at home here, it's very rare for Giovanni's to have a Primogen seat, but the Giovanni's held Chicago for a number of years, from 1930 to 1950 about. And when they lost it, it was because Attias Giovanni, who was one of the ranking members, betrayed the Giovanni, who was the Duke of the city at that time, to the Camarilla, and in exchange for his support in regaining Chicago, the Camarilla gave Attias Giovanni a primogen seat, with Attias Giovanni basically wanting to change the sort of look of the clan and turn him into a more business-like sort of mindset, a bit like the Ventru, and to learn how to run a city. And so that is why there's a primogen, a Giovanni primogen in Chicago. As you pull up, and the guy at the front door comes and opens the door to your, the valet comes out to your car, you get a blip from a text message, Vincent. It's from Luca.
This better not be another goddamn cat video.
No, it's not. It's a link to Stanley Tucci. It says, Vincenzo, I've been thinking, if you are going to talk to Il Duce himself tonight, I might hold off on giving him too much information about what's going on here. I know you are meeting with Ludovica tomorrow. I might suggest you talk with her before you get too in the weeds with Attias. But, of course, do as you will. This is simply friendly word of advice. Be circumspect. Also, good job tonight. You did good. That could have seriously gone out of hand. Good work.
He just responds with "could have."
He's like, well, you know, sometimes you think you burned the dish, but it's just a little bit of it that's stuck at the bottom. Well, you can save it.
He just like speaking to spirits is not like cooking. It's not. And he just continues.
You are shown upstairs. You take the elevator up, and the elevator opens, and basically the top floor is all of Attias Giovanni's apartment. When you walk in to the apartment, you see that it is very tastefully appointed. There are beautiful works of art on the walls. There is a nice stereo system that is playing a little bit of Vivaldi. You get the feeling that this is kind of put on as a show for you. You don't get a feeling of, you know, that this is very genuine. It feels very kind of put on, like this is what you would expect to find in a Giovanni Elder's apartment. And so that's what you get, kind of feeling.
Yeah, he just kind of like walks past it, like the paying lip service shit kind of pisses him off a little bit, but he doesn't let it show.
As you walk into the main living area, you see the primogen, Attias Giovanni, a young, absolutely gorgeous man. He's wearing a silk sort of nightgown over silk pajama pants. He's barefoot. Thing is open. Great shape, beautiful skin, unmarred. Just a thing of beauty. And I don't know which way Vincenzo leans, but he is beautiful. This man is fucking beautiful. And as you walk in, he is busy pouring himself a glass of blood, and he's like, thirsty, Vincenzo?
Yeah.
He pours another wine glass full and comes over, hands you one. You had a bit of an evening, I hear.
You could say that.
You want to tell me about it? He goes and he sits down and he sprawls down into his chair and sips his blood.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I really don't think you want to know about it because I don't have all the answers yet.
Hmm.
I probably need a couple more nights before I am able to give you a full report. But, needless to say, I'm following your orders. We are cooperating fully with the prince, and I'm continuing down this line of investigation.
Spoken like a true mafia goon being interrogated by the cops. Have a seat, Vincent.
He visibly tenses up at being called a goon.
Have a seat.
He sits down across from him.
You know what I like about you, Vincent? You know what makes me trust you, makes me like you?
My devilishly good charms.
No, it's the fact that you're ugly.
Pots and
You
kettles.
can trust an ugly man.
Oh, is that a fact?
I assume that you wouldn't be trying to hold back from me, right?
Hold
As
back
an ugly
what?
man, I can trust you, right?
You keep calling me ugly and we're gonna have a problem. I have my mother's face, so you're insulting my mother. And I'm not exactly too keen on that. Even in undeath.
So this is what I mean. I said you're ugly and you automatically assumed I was talking about your facial features, your looks. You're not a unhandsome man, but you are ugly. You are brutal. You are unrefined.
Effective. I'm fucking effective, is what I am.
I am not saying otherwise. I've lived a long life, Vincent, surrounded by ugly men and beautiful men, and my experience has always been that the ugly men you can trust because you know what they're going to do. The beautiful men are incredibly difficult to trust, and usually with a beautiful man, there is only one thing you can do.
Fuck them.
And then kill them. But you're safe from that because you are ugly and effective. I will give you some leeway, Vincent. I'll give you some leeway to continue this line of inquiry of yours. I will give you some leeway to continue palling around with that kook of yours.
Watch your tone.
Oh, you don't have to worry. She's very interesting to me. I want her to hair on her head. Made any headway on those paintings I was talking about?
Nope. Not as of yet.
You know, for someone who's effective, Vincent, you're really letting me down a lot.
Well, my orders were to aid the city, and that came first, and that's what I'm doing.
You always have an answer, don't you?
That's why I am who I am.
You know, when I asked for you, when they said, Atias, pick whoever you want, anybody you want. Reach out. Milan, Rome, Naples, anyone you want. And I said, I want those three from New York. I said, are you sure? They're from New York. They're going to fucking give you backlit. They're going to be a pain in your ass at every turn. And I was like, yeah, I know. The moment they stop being a pain in my ass, that's when I know they've become a problem. So I'm going to assume you're not a problem yet, and that you continue being a loyal and faithful servant of the family. I'll start worrying when you start being polite with me.
Sure.
What's your next step?
In which direction? You see, I just got a fun little phone call. I've got to catch a plane for tomorrow. So I'll be out of town for a couple of days.
Oh, where are you heading?
Back to New York. To the head office.
Oh,
They want to know what's going on in this city. Anything you want me to pass? Anything you want me to pass along?
You can tell them things are going marvelously. You can tell them whatever you want, Vincent. It's not going to matter. I am here doing what I'm doing with the full blessing of the family, and if for some ungodly reason that little Brooklyn pizza slice of pie brain of yours rubbed against another slice and decided that I was doing something that was not being sanctioned by the family, well, you can tell your little slice of pie in the head that I would not be here doing what I'm doing if I did not have the sanction of the family. Go to New York, do what you got to do, but then come back here. We have work to do.
Oh, I have no doubt we have work to do.
More to the point, you have work to do right now. You're effective, yes?
Yeah.
There's something that needs cleaning up in the bathroom, if you could see to it. It's what you do best, after all, clean up messes.
He stands up and looks at him. Listen, you may be a primogen in this city, and you may hold some power with the ivory tower, and that's all good and well. But ultimately, I am not your errand boy. And more importantly, I will not clean up the shit stain that you fucking made. Now, when you have real work for me to do, I'll do it. Till then, take one of your fucking manservants you got around here and have them deal with it. That's what they're there for. Me, I have to coordinate a plane, and I am not about to kiss your ass fucking out here in the Windy City. Yeah, you know why they call it the Windy City? It's full of fucking hot air coming out of you. Why don't you do something really good for the fucking family? And he literally turns his back on him.
And as you walk out, you hear, ugly as the day is long.
Sit on it and rotate, fucker, as the elevator door closes.
Meanwhile, across town, at Helena's shop of sundries, who's doing what to whom?
I don't know. Depends on if Hayden's there or not.
Do you call Hayden?
She would text him on the way back there about what happened. I don't think she would necessarily invite him over.
When you
He has a
text him,
key.
you get the answer. Did you break something again?
No.
Because usually when you
However,
call me, it's because you need something fixed.
I didn't break anything this time. I just want nose to the ground. A little sniffer sniffing things out for me.
Oh. Well, let me put on hold everything I'm doing right here, right now, to get you
What-
this information that you need.
What exactly are you doing right now, Hayden?
I can't tell you. Chantry secrets.
Is it because you're sitting at home in your boxers?
You know I don't wear boxers.
Fair enough.
What can I do for you?
We found Teddy's friend, whatever he is, in a casket in his backyard with some ribs sticking out of him.
Was he there voluntarily? Like this was his way
Hayden,
of having a good time? Or
what do you think?
well, I don't know. You should tell me. I wasn't there.
He had a note in there written in animal fat. Traitor.
Well,
Did
PETA?
Lee give us? Did
was it
Lee
PETA,
give us?
maybe?
Give
No.
us the name Verena? What we were okay. Does the name Verena mean anything to you?
It does.
Well, she's going around impersonating my friend and killing her boyfriend, or trying to.
Huh. Well, she is a Zimishi. You know what I do for a living, right, Helena?
I know what you do, Hayden.
And that's why I know of her. So why are you consorting with people who are friends with members of the Sabbat?
I'm not friends with her.
No, but you are connected to someone who obviously is connected to her.
Can you fix this or not?
I'm not sure what you want me to fix here. You want me to hunt down and kill Verena?
Kinda.
Is she still in town?
I don't know.
Well, start by finding that out.
That's what I'm asking you to do.
No, you want me to kill her. Now you want me to find her.
Fine, I'll figure out where the fuck she is. If she's in town, can you kill her, please?
My job.
What do you want for it?
I want to know, who is this person that she's connected to?
I gotta go. I'll talk to you later. And then she sends like some like winky faces.
You get a message back that just says, we're not done with this conversation.
She's gonna text out the number you're trying to text. Cannot be reached right now. Please try again later. But it's like misspelled in some places.
You'll get
Like-
a text back. You're such a fucking child.
Never mind. She's gonna put her phone away.
What are Cassie and Teddy doing at this moment then?
Cassie is wandering around the store, very pointedly, not touching anything because I imagine Helena has told her to not touch things because she's probably broken a couple of things in the past, and she's just looking around.
Helena would have given her one designated area of things that she can touch. And it's
like just like crystals.
Yeah, like really heavy,
Rocks.
big. It's just rocks. Yeah, rocks that she sells for like $1.
I think that at this point, Cassie is just showing the rocks to Prince,
Very good.
hoping that he likes them.
I think Teddy has brought some of Helena's blood supply to Lee and is sitting with him, trying to just figure out what's going on.
He's chugging back. You should have some too.
Yeah, she's gonna take some.
It's kind of spicy. Do you put... Where did she go? Is that a snake?
That's Gilgamesh.
Her friends are weird.
They're my friends.
I'm not saying anything against them. I'm just saying.
They're
Should have used
probably
another word. Should
thinking
use
weird.
interesting. You all right?
What's going on, Lee?
A lot?
Why did some woman named Verena try to kill you and then pin this on you? And she hands the letter over. Helena says it's written in animal fat.
If it's Verena, it's human fat. That girl is fucked up.
How do you know her?
Let me preface my answer with a question. Do you believe it's possible for someone to change? Like fundamentally change? Like be brought up to believe something so thoroughly that you'll do almost anything for that belief, and then to one day realize that that belief was wrong?
Yeah, I think so.
You know, when Carter found you and drained you and then fed you his blood, you were in the cemetery. You and your 3 friends were simply put to the side. The others were being buried. You remember that, right?
Vaguely.
When the Sabbat embraced new kindred, their first goal is to rip out any last shred of humanity from them, because the Sabbat needs killing machines. The Sabbat doesn't need people with feelings or individuality. And so part of the creation of a new kindred in a Sabbat includes a ritual, a creation ritual, that includes oftentimes the kindred, the person being created, being buried alive. And then through the creation ritual and the act of having to dig yourself out of your own grave, those who make it come out of that with very little, if any, of their humanity left. The Sabbat do this because they are convinced that there are really old, really powerful vampires that are sleeping somewhere on this earth, and that at a specific point in time, they will all rise up and will be so thirsty that human blood will no longer satisfy them, so they will hunt down the rest of the vampires and drain everyone and kill everyone. And so the Sabbat's entire purpose is to make sure that every individual is powerful enough, or as powerful as they can be, to confront these supposed whatever ancient thingies that are sleeping in the ground somewhere. And so you can't be like that unless you have no humanity left in you. And so they strive to create soldiers, good soldiers that don't have humanity. However, you and your friends were not buried. You were set aside. And then lo and behold, when Baptiste and the others found the pack and decimated them and killed most of them, although Carter escaped, and so did Verena and Lydia and a couple of others, the four of you were miraculously sitting there, untouched by the creation ritual.
You say that like it was on purpose.
I'm saying that Carter works for someone called Cardinal Santiago, and Santiago is one of the oldest vampires in this world, and he's a conniving son of a bitch, and he has plans. And if he told Carter to come into Chicago and to have a shovelhead party, which is what they call this, but to leave a few people off on the side, it's because he wanted it that way.
Do you think that's why that Bali had our names?
I think that Bali had your names, and for the record, the other names, the other four people on that list are all Sabbat members. Carter, Lydia, Archibald, and Francis are all Sabbat who are currently living in Gary, Indiana. They are somehow connected to a lot of you. We know how Carter is connected to you. It's unclear about the others.
I want to ask you a question, but I'm afraid of the answer.
Am I Sabbat?
How do you know all of them?
Because I used to run with them.
With Carter?
With Carter and Birdsong and Verena. Not a long time. Just about a year or so. And then I was sent here by the Cardinal to infiltrate. Gangrels are the best for that because gangrels come and go. No one really knows one gangrel from another most of the time in a city. So whenever the Sabbat wants to infiltrate a city, they usually send gangrel. And so I came in on the edges, slowly working my way in.
And then what?
I always hated Carter. I always saw in him what I would become, and it scared me. You gotta understand, Carter is the perfect Sabbat soldier. He is merciless, he is powerful, he is savage, he is dedicated to the cause. And I saw that, and I thought, is that what I'm gonna be? And the second they gave me an opportunity to get away from him, I did. Then I came here, and then I met Nora. And Nora showed me a completely different way of being. And I was kind of on the fence. And then I met you. And when I saw what happened to you 5 years ago, what you did with Takamura and how that changed you, and how you took control of your own path when you left and took control of your own path, I realized that that was what I needed to do if I didn't want to end up like Carter, like you didn't want to end up like Carter, what you did to Takamura, and your strength and courage in leaving showed me that I needed to have the strength and courage to do what I needed to do. And that's why when I found out that Carter and Lydia and Archie and Francis were in town or were coming to town, I set up an ambush for them with Baptiste and some of the others. And we killed Birdsong. And that's why Verena came after me, because she and Birdsong were close. I don't know why she didn't kill me. Not like her to not kill me, but she didn't.
Maybe they think that they can bring you back.
No,
You have
the
another
Sabbat doesn't bring
change of
people
heart?
back. The Sabbat doesn't bring people. This was a personal thing. I think when she was torturing me, I thought she was going to kill me. She didn't. And the last thing she said to me before I went into torpor was, "You either kill him or he kills you." And that was the last thing I heard.
Who was she talking about?
Carter. The boogeyman. The devil under the bed.
Why is he focused on you then?
Well, let's just say that Carter hasn't had a lot of luck with his progeny.
You know, just because his blood is in our veins doesn't make us monsters.
See, before all this vampire shit happened, right? My dad was a real piece of shit. My dad was a real piece of shit. I would come home and I would know if the lights were off. I wouldn't know he'd been at my mother that day. She would hide in the darkness. So when I came home from school and I saw that the lights were off, I wouldn't go in the house. I would sit outside. I would miss supper. I would sit there until I knew my mom was gone to bed, and then I would get into the house. And one day I came home and I got the courage up and I walked inside the house and I went in the living room and I saw what he did to her. And I found him passed out on the floor of the bathroom in a puddle of his own vomit. So I'm back outside, back at the house. My dad was a bricklayer. There's a bunch of bricks back there. I grabbed one, I came back inside the house, and I went to find him in the bathroom. Every day after that, when I came home, the light was lit up like it was a fucking carnival. And that's when I learned that what's in that blood, especially when it's a capacity for violence, it stays in there. The only choice you get is what you do with it, but you are going to do what it wants you to do. And that's even more true with us than with human beings. Because you are your blood now.
What do you say you and me go find a brick?
I'm saying that if we do that, we're just going to prove him right. But I don't think we have much of a choice.
We don't.
He reaches out and puts a hand on your shoulder. You've gone a long way, Teddy. You've gone far to get away from a lot of the things about yourself that you didn't like. There's some things that's harder to get away from, but you can keep running, at least for a while. I said that before. It will eventually catch up, but you can buy yourself some time. But if you're intent on confronting him, you're shortening that timeline by a lot. Is that something you're really willing to do?
I'm not going to spend my life being chased. I'm tired of running. And I've got you.
I guess we go find a brick.
I guess we do.
Myriad, what's Cassie doing?
Cassie is waiting for Vincent. She's probably down in Helena's store with Prince, just showing him rocks.
What's Helena doing?
Helena's coming to sit across from Teddy and Lee. She's got her phone in her hand and she's kind of like tapping it against her palm. Do you know a Sabbat hunter named Hayden by chance, Lee?
Do I know a Sabbat hunter named Hayden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking him. But
Is he good?
primo.
Okay.
That's besides the point. He's helping with the Verena thing. He's asking why I'm hanging around you, and why Teddy's hanging around you. He's not super stoked on that. What do you want me to tell him?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I mean, Verena was part of a group of Sabbat that I helped ambush the other day with the Scourge. So it might have been retribution for that. We killed one of their members.
Yeah. All right. So here's my question, really, just to wrap my head around this, is if I vouch for you and like really lay it on the line for him, are you gonna fuck me?
Well, you don't need that, do you? He's primo.
Helena,
Teddy, can I trust him?
yes, you can. He's
All
with
right.
me and he's not going anywhere. And if Hayden has a problem with that, then he can come talk to me about it.
Yeah. I think I'll have it under control. And she's going to text Hayden.
Yeah. Like just before you text him, you get that text. Yeah.
Oh. He's cool, okay? Be cool, please. And this is like rapid fire texting.
Yeah. You get back, okay.
Promise.
Sure.
Why are you being so agreeable?
Because I'm going to do whatever I want to do.
Yeah, but that's not a really great answer for me, Hayden.
What are you telling? Like, look, I'm just going to find one right now, all right?
Okay, but this dude, he's cool.
All right, he's cool.
He helped with ambushing the Sabat, so...
Are you trying to fuck him?
No, I'm not trying to fuck him. Not my type.
Too handsome. I saw him. He's got like the rugged good looks and everything. I mean, he was kind of hobbling and Teddy had to carry him, but...
I'm sorry. You what?
Yeah, I'm parked outside.
She's gonna sort of look up and...
You see like down the street, just around the corner, you see his BMW.
Are you stalking
sounded-
me?
No, you sounded like maybe there was shit going down. I figured, you know, you were eventually going to call and then might as well be close.
Oh, Hayden, you care about me. Aww.
No, it's just because I've invested some money in your shop and I'd rather not see it go up in flames and lose my investment. Yeah, of course I care about you. What do you think?
Does this mean you want to be my boyfriend?
I'm hanging up now.
No, you're not. Do you want to come inside? We're having a sleepover.
No, I see the Giovanni coming back. I'm just going to hang out here.
Okay, do you want me to come downstairs? Just kidding. I have other things to
Well,
do.
I was going to say yes.
Oh, okay. I'll be there in a second. Click. She'll like kind of poke her little head up. I guess Hayden's cool with this. Don't let the snake out of his enclosure. Prince tried to get him once, and I was pretty sure he was gonna like whip him around like a rope. Don't feed the snake anything. He's been fed recently. It's Helena's
I
blood.
don't even want to like look at Gilgamesh most times. He frightens me, so I don't think you have to worry about that.
You can just put the curtain if he freaks you out. Right?
Go on.
Remember? Hayden's downstairs. I'm gonna go be gross.
Are you gonna go like? Never mind.
Yeah, I don't think we need details,
You-
Cass.
I'll be like 20 minutes tops.
There's a joke in there, but I'm not gonna make it.
Just make it when I leave.
As you leave, hey, thank you, Rolling Nomads, for the raid. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming in. We are just on the last leg here, but we're playing Vampire and Masquerade, and we really appreciate you bringing in the raid. So thank you very much, gang. As Helena leaves, Lee's going to just reach out and grab your hand, Teddy, and just sort of give it a bit of a squeeze.
As he does that, she turns and looks to Cassie. Are you okay, Cassie?
Yes. I
think
think,
maybe-
so.
We have some things to talk about on this flight.
Yeah, I heard I went a little weird on you guys. Spooky.
Yeah, spooky.
I was speaking French.
It was interesting.
I don't know.
Have you been
French.
taking French? No. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Just
Maybe you were being possessed, you were in the crypt, and there was some Giovanni doing some Giovanni shit.
Is everything okay with your boyfriend? Is that what he is? Can I call him that?
We haven't like really put a label to things. I refer to him as my boyfriend in my head.
Okay.
I think he's okay. Like, do you, I know he comes across a little abrasive.
A bit, yeah.
He means well for the most part.
I hope so.
Helena, on the way out, you cross Vincent coming in up to the front door of your shop.
Vincent?
Is the door unlocked or?
Yeah, it's unlocked.
Where are you going?
She's gonna sort of like glance over to Hayden's BMW.
Ah, Thai food takeout. Got it.
20 minutes. Don't let the snake out. Cassie is scared of Gilgamesh. If he stares at her for too long, put the curtain up. He's in his enclosure. He's been fed.
20 minutes? What do you do if we have 17?
Go fuck yourself, Vincent.
I'm tired. It's a lot of moving around. Maybe I'll piss on your floor again.
I bet you will. If you piss on my floor, you're gonna clean it up. With your own mouth.
He just walks away going, nah, 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 nah.
Such children. You get into the the store. You see in the back Teddy and Lee and Cassie. A lot of you see Vincent walking in through the front door.
Hello. Don't look at Gilgamesh.
Yeah, I got the memo on the way out. So, y'all like gonna build a blanket fort or something? Or what are you doing here?
Well, we were just gonna wait for Helena to come back.
She's getting Thai food.
I thought she was fucking Hayden in the car.
Yeah. Yeah, we know.
So, okay. How's boyfriend?
Lee.
Lee.
Hey.
How you doing?
Oh, you know.
Have you got all your outside parts back on the inside? And all
I
your
think so.
inside?
I mean, I haven't counted them, but I think so.
Oh, that's
Thanks,
good.
by the way.
Yeah. You need anything else?
No, just a little bit of rest, I think.
Okay. Plane's coordinated. We'll leave at dusk tomorrow.
All right.
Excellent. Cassie, as you're watching or listening to this, you realize your phone's back online. There's a message from earlier this evening on it.
I look at it.
The number is the blocked out private number.
What does it say?
Oh no, it's a
voicemail.
voice message. Sorry, it's a voice message that's written.
Oh,
like a
that's
voicemail.
worse, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just play the voicemail.
Aloud or to your ear?
I'm gonna look to everyone. So I have a voicemail. I was just gonna play it out loud because my mind likes to play tricks on me. So you can just confirm or deny that we're hearing the same thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Remind me your family name, Cassie, please?
More.
This is a message for Miss Moore. This is Sergeant Detective Dixon of Chicago PD. I believe you are I'm sorry, I'm thinking of it in French and Connaissance. I believe you're an acquaintance of one Elliot Summers. I'd be very interested in having a brief discussion with you about Elliot tomorrow, if you would. I went by your apartment today, but you weren't there, and I was told by some of your neighbors that you're not often there during the day. So I was wondering if it'd be okay for me to come by in the evening, or if you would like to come down Station 27, Precinct 27 tomorrow and have a little chat with me. Just totally off the record, routine matter. My phone number is, he leaves his phone number. Please reach out to me as soon as you can and let me know what would be best. I can send around a car to pick you up if you would like. I'll wait your call. Thank you very much. Have yourself a good evening, ma'am.
I'm gonna close my phone. Is that a cop that just called me?
Yeah, that
I'm not talking to a fucking cop.
No, you're not. You're not talking to a cop.
I'm gonna message Elliot.
And there's
Hey.
no answer.
I'm just gonna go, hey, cop called me about you.
Oh.
Are you okay? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Message comes back. Hello, this is Sergeant Detective Dixon of Chicago PD. Is this Miss Moore? Could I call you?
Oh, you're gonna make me talk to this cop. Fine.
Your phone rings right away. It's Elliot's number.
Hello?
Miss Moore?
Are you the cop?
I am a cop, yes.
Are you gonna record this message?
No, I'm not even on my own phone. I'm on Miss Summers' phone.
I don't know how you cops do things.
Well, frankly, Miss, we don't know how we do things either most of the time. Things just kind of seem
I'm
to
aware.
You are friends with Miss Summers, is this correct? I found a book and a note from her to you in her bedside table.
I think there's like an immediate sort of dread that kind of washes over Cassie, just knowing that the only reason a cop would be in someone's residence is usually for nefarious reasons. And yeah.
I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this and to tell you this way, Miss Moore, but unfortunately it appears that Miss Elliot was murdered. Miss Summers was murdered last night. We'd be interested in talking to you. Would you like to come down and talk to us tomorrow morning, or would you like us to send a car?
I'm gonna be out of town tomorrow. I can probably come down like the next day.
All right, Miss Moore. Make sure that you come and check in with us, would you? It's just routine, but we would like to be able to eliminate you from the list of persons of interest.
Do you have like anyone else?
I can't speak further on an ongoing investigation. I'm sure you understand.
Okay. And Cassie will just hang up.
As you hang up here, I'm very sorry for your...
I think Cassie's gonna go find a corner. Preferably away from Gilgamesh. And sit in the corner and just stare at the wall.
Helena has a spare room.
Yeah. Cassie's gonna go into the spare room and just sit. Not on the bed or anything, just on the floor.
Sit there for a while. You think back to Elliot. You remember how kind she was, nice, how warm, and how she got along so well with her, and how friendly she was towards you, how she really saw you. And as you sit there thinking about Elliot and remembering them and the conversation that you had and the promise of more conversations to come. You hear, coming from just next to you, Elliot's voice that says, "That's okay, Cassie. I'm here with you now."
Cassie curls up with her head on her knees and starts to cry.
If Vincent
And on
hears this,
that-
he's immediately going to go.
Well, Vincent will get to go next week, as we will for now on this sad, melancholy scene. Poor Cassie, crying. I gotta stop making Cassie cry. I'm sorry.
Stop making my friend cry. Stop making my
Okay.
friend cry.
On this note, my friends, we will call it for tonight, as it's quite late already. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you to my wonderful players. Are you okay, Myriad?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Myriad's like, hey, I'm fine.